So in this video, I will provide insights, tips, and warnings that will help you get the most from the book via the Blackboard created reviews in our bundles, especially as the readings relate to other learning tasks and graded assignments. So first of all, why did I choose the book that I have for this class? The reason I chose this book is because the author's way of talking about and introducing various elements of thinking about ethics from the standpoint of philosophy is concise, clear, and very accessible. His treatment of contemporary moral problems, issues, and debates is really good. Let's talk about the reading reviews. The rereading reviews force you to dig deep into specifics, the details provided in the reading. This in turn provides a good foundation for building a deeper understanding of topics we will expand on through my recorded lectures and even various writing assignments that build on both the reading and the Blackboard created reviews. The other Blackboard created reviews containing the micro lectures where I expand on or elaborate on or build on the basics you should have already learned about in virtue of completing the readings. Now let's talk about maximizing your reading for future learning, lectures, assignments, and whatnot. To focus on maximizing your engagement with the assigned readings, we need to focus on our mindset about the readings. As weird as it's going to sound, I don't want you to think of the readings as just readings. No, I want you to think of the content, the ideas, the explanations you find in the book as a series of encounters. Encounters where you are discovering and collecting new ways of looking at the old, as opportunities to take something familiar to you and look at it in a way that is unfamiliar, a new way that hopefully brings enlightenment. Do not think, I implore you, do not think of the readings as isolated hoops through which you must jump. No, think of the readings as important building blocks that set a foundation to expand on and think critically. About what? Your own moral compass, social and political morality, contemporary moral issues, especially for this class, the killing of George Floyd and the aftermath that has followed. By the way, you can also apply what you're learning in this class to other issues, to other hot topics, including the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, in my intro course, the 1301 course, in that course, we are using the pandemic and everything that has arisen from that to explore philosophy. We're using the pandemic to think about knowledge and whether it's possible. We're using it to also thinking about morality, and we're also using it to think about free will. If that sounds interesting, consider taking my course in the spring. Okay, so I'm going to now get into a really kind of like intense coaching mode. I've already started it, but let's go over one more thing. So I strongly recommend that when you get a task that has you doing some reading from the ebook, that you first do the reading in its entirety. So for the first reading assignment in week 3, you have about 12 pages to read. I implore you to do the reading in its entirety. This allows you to see the forest, to get the big picture. This allows you to get a sense of the topic. Now, when you do this first reading, I encourage you not to underline, do not highlight, do not take notes. That is going to be a distraction for what I see as the purpose of a first reading. I want you to think of your first reading where you read every single word in the assigned pages as a warm-up. Think about somebody who's at the Olympics. They're about to do a sprint and compete for, a medal. They're going to warm up their muscles first. Who cares how you perform in the warm-up? The point is just to get your muscles, those neurons, those fibers stimulated and twitching for a performance that you will engage in later. That is how I would like for you to do and approach the reading in this class. Do a first reading, a kind of intellectual warm-up that gets your brain, your cells, your neural pathways firing and ready for deeper learning. The first reading then is just an intellectual warm-up where you get a sense of what the topic is about, but you also get the big picture of the topic. After you do that, I then recommend that you work through a given review, one item at a time, to study the specifics given in the reading, to learn about the trees, so to speak, that comprise the forest, so to speak. When I say that I want you to work through a given review, I am talking about the Blackboard created reviews that cover the assigned reading. Why? Well, if you focus on reading only to answer questions in the reviews, what you are doing is you are focusing on seeing individual trees. But this does not guarantee that you will understand how the trees connect to each other to form the forest, to speak. Having bits of information without understanding how each idea, thought, and concept, how each tree hangs together or connects to others, will leave you feeling confused or unstimulated. That is to say that having bits of information without understanding how each idea, thought, or concept, how each tree you learn about connects to others, will leave you feeling confused and understimulated. Also, you will lose important contextual information that can harm your understanding and enlightenment when you do not do the reading as a whole. That is, because you will not have a sense of the big picture. You develop a sense of the big picture and how those bits of information, the trees in the reading, only by reading everything. You must read everything to make it more likely, furthermore, that you do build and create and develop a clear, accurate, and precise understanding of whatever topic is covered in a reading assignment. One last thing. I am hoping that you do not approach this class or the readings or any assignments as something real quick, a to-do list. In philosophy, there is a saying, when philosophers greet each other, the first thing they say to each other is, take your time. Philosophy is a class in which you slow down to stop and think about questions and reading and what is given. If you're going into a reading and a Blackboard created review thinking, okay, I'm going to easily find answers, do the reading, and just rush through it, you may feel frustrated when you actually have to slow down and dig deep into the reading and actually slow down and read every single word to find answers. So I don't want you to make that mistake. Okay, so I'm going to create a new video where we actually start on the reading together and answer a few of the questions and prompts in the Blackboard created review.